Hello everyone, today my classmate Miguel Figueroa and I are going to present our academic report.
This presentation shows the emotional management of an Indonesian EFL teacher as described by Ramanwati. This study explores how the teachers handles the boredom, anger, and annoyance during the classroom instruction. Emotional management is important since it affects teacher performance, students' engagement, and the overall learning atmosphere. This summary presents the purpose, theoretical basis, result, and implication of the research that we did.
The study aimed to explain how an Indonesian EFL teacher manages her emotions during classroom instruction. It investigated real challenges teachers often face, such as boredom, anger, and annoyance, and how this emotion can affect teaching's performance. The main purpose was to identify the strategies the teacher used to regulate her emotion, stay calm, and maintain a professional attitude. The research shows that emotional control is essential for creating a positive learning environment and supporting effective teaching. This study is a descriptive case study that explores the experiences of a single teacher. The participant is a 29 years old female English teacher from a vocational high school in Tasikmalaya with 3 years of teaching experience. Data were collected through semi-structured interviews to understand her emotion in class and analyzed using thematic analysis, identifying patterns such as boredom, anger, and annoyance.
Okay, now we have the relevant details of the case. To start, this is the context, which is the teachers, a teacher which worked in a large vocational high school. She taught big classes of students who spoke Sundanese and Indonesian with English as a foreign language. She faced problems such as low motivation, discipline issues, incomplete homework, and passive participation from the students. This social and linguistic condition might create emotional pressure for her, especially when students show apathy or resistance to her tasks. Some personal characteristics are that the teacher is described as a patient, reflective, and caring person, showing a real, authentic concern for her students' feelings. She often tries to remain calm and professional during difficult situations. However, she also experienced stress, frustration, and emotional exhausting because of the repeating routines and discipline problems from the students. She felt saturation, anger, and annoyance. However, she learned to manage this emotion through constructive strategies such as humor and classroom adjustments.
Okay. In English language teaching, teachers' emotions have a big impact on classroom behavior, student motivation, and the relationship between teacher and students. To avoid negative effects on learning, teachers use emotional management or regulation strategies. Positive emotions like enjoyment and satisfaction help increase engagement, motivation, and productivity. On the other hand, negative emotions such as anger, frustrations, and annoyance can harm both relationships and learning if they are not properly managed.
Okay, now we have the analysis of the case that we choose. In this case, Sundanese is the first language of the students. It plays an important part in the shaping interaction and emotional reaction of the teacher. It consonants with language acquisition theories. Learners develop their mother tongue naturally through constant input and meaningful social interaction. Since Sundanese is the language that the students use at home and in every communication, it provides them a emotional comfort and a sense of identity. However, the dominance of Santonese in the classroom sometimes is a challenge for the teacher, especially when students rely heavily on it instead of participating in English activities. This reflects the idea that L1 functions as a psychological support system. Let this adaptive mode theory explain that individuals use familiar and use emotional and linguistic resources to manage the discomfort that they might feel or the stress. In this situation, the student preference for their mother tongue can be a synonym of a copy mechanism when English texts become demanding for them. Therefore, the teacher frustration does not only come from behavioral issues, but also from negotiation of this linguistic gap. Once they understand this emotional influence, teachers are more empathic and might develop strategies that engage the learner's linguistic comfort zone with their EFL learning goals. Now, when it comes about the second language acquisition, the most important aspect related to this topic is the case of motivation, especially when it comes about the development of speaking skills. The study shows that many students are unmotivated to participate in oral activities. In second language acquisition theory, speaking skills require not only linguistic knowledge, but also emotional and confidence. In this situation, a student felt anxious, disconnected, and sometimes bored from the tasks. And they will to speak decreases significantly. The teacher tries to regulate her own emotion to avoid expressing frustration or disappointment to her students, which aligns with the idea that positive emotional climate enhance the speaking performances, and motivation is a key for effective factor of SLA. And students are more likely to participate in speaking tasks when they feel supported and when the atmosphere of the classroom reduce the fear of making mistakes. In this sense, the teacher emotional management, such as using humor or offering encouragement, help to create conditions where a student might feel safer to communicate in the second language that they are learning.
Result and conclusion. The study found that entertaining activities such as songs and games help reduce students' boredom. Self-relaxation techniques like deep breathing and moments of silence help the teacher control anger. Humor and short breaks also reduce feelings of annoyance in the classroom. As conclusion, emotional management is essential for maintaining a positive classroom climate. Also, the teacher's strategies not only helped manage emotions, but also improve students' motivation, behavior, and overall teaching effectiveness. Effectiveness, sorry.
Now, these are part of the benefits that we could found while we were reading the case. Uh, if we read this case, it helps to manage the stress in large or unmotivated classes. It teaches how to control anger or frustration professionally. Sorry. It encourages the use of fun and engaging activities. It prevents the burnout through humor and emotional awareness. And moreover, it shows that emotions are normal and manageable with proper strategies. Also, here we have the reference, and that's all. That's all presentation.